We're kind of talking about it. So,
Sounds good.
okay. All right. So it says for the first 5 minutes with your team, discuss your strategy for getting the wages agreement you want. So we want a higher wage, right? We don't want this lower stuff they're trying to inflict upon.
Right. Higher wage.
And I'll be right back.
Okay. How do you think we should go about doing this?
How we should go about giving the workers a higher wage?
Yeah, well, what's our strategy to argue this?
Okay. Well, sorry, excuse me. I think the main strategy is that we want to keep our employees happy and within our company, so the pay needs to be competitive so that they're not going elsewhere in the industry, and that like want strikes and stuff. So if we start paying crappy, they're gonna strike or leave, and that's bad.
Yeah. And it seems like I'm pretty sure it was in the 190 they talked about, or they actually discussed about that they started ordering, like the company already started ordering chain link fences because they knew it was going to cause a strike.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is like, in all reality, it's going to cost them more money because people will leave, of course. You will have the dedicated or the ones that have no option that will stay there. But just like the morale
Right.
and the everything else, I kind of bring that up. We talk about it's going to drop morale. It's going to cost more money to train people. And why have to worry about strikes and pay for all this crap to do that when we just keep the wages the same? So, or, help them increase in certain ways.
Yeah.
So, besides that, I don't know what else to talk about unless you have. No.
It's Thanksgiving week. I mean, that's good.
All right, Connor, you're up then. What are ways that we, as Adam and Baxter's management, what are some strategies or ways that we can argue for the wages that we want to agree upon?
Well, I don't really care much about wages, to be honest with you. I care more about productivity and actually getting rid of that. What's it called? I'm going to look at it real quick. It's called. But anyways, I don't think wages are necessarily the problem. I believe it's more in the worker autonomy and incentive pay. I think we're just losing money in that, really. Wages, I don't care. You can have your $10.69 an hour, but I want to see some further improvement based off of like real goals being set. I'm spending a lot of money off of letting you guys get away with days off and stuff like that because you set such low goals. That's not really fair to me as as a boss. Because
we need to make money.
Yeah, so that's kind of my biggest thing right there.
Yeah, we're not the ones that are supposed to be taking the loss or the hits during it, and in all reality, giving these people the easy way out, is hurting us really bad. So hurting the company.
And also, another side of it is that we're gonna already lay off a ton of people because we're building a new what's it called, factory that's going to be a little bit smarter. So I think that we're trimming the fat enough as it is. I don't think trying to get a lower wage is going to do us any good. If anything, I think cut our 135 people and just worry more about productivity than anything else. We save money on like 2 or 3% of savings. That's like better than doubling our revenue. So if we could just save money on not paying so many employees and making sure that they actually work a good day.
Yeah, focusing on the probably, instead of like you're saying, being so diverse with so many different employees, focusing on what the company needs best, and improving the employees, like in other words, shortening down the training pool to a point where we're able to actually really focus on each individual to make sure that they're giving the best outcome per dollar that we're spending.
Yeah, that's basically how I see it. I mean, I don't really have a problem with like the annual bonuses or the no layoffs policy. I kind of don't like the no layoff policy, but if that's what they want and we have to give them a year's notice, I mean, that just kind of is what it is.
Yeah,
But
I personally feel like that's kind of too long to give me years. It's like in reality, they're just going to be dragging their feet for that full entire year. There's no point to keep them around because they know they're going to be done. So,
I agree, but since it's already offered, it'll be really difficult to do away with.
yeah.
I mean, talk about getting screwed over, but really that's what happened there. You 52-week layoff period. Well, that's terrible if you ask me.
Yeah.
The escalator clause. I don't know if you read the next one on where it talks about how they did away with it. I agree with that to a certain extent. I don't think that escalator clause is really important because, generally speaking, you're going to raise wages as time goes on. So
That's in the
I don't know if that
notes you're talking about.
What's that?
Sorry, did you find that in the debrief in notes? Is that what you're talking about?
No, just the next 5 years from now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It talks
Sorry.
about yeah. Instead of Me Too clause was added to the contract. Remember what that is?
No.
So basically what happens in the Me Too is the union agreed to identify 3 different let me just read it real quick. It says plus peg Baxter wages and benefits to those of other 5 top consumer food processing companies. It specified that if 3 or more of the 5 industry leaders change their wages or benefits, the union will identify the 3 companies whose provision it most prefers, and Baxter will pay the average wage or benefit provided by the 3 companies. I think that's a really good clause right there. Basically, we're always going to pay the average, and it's up to the union to decide on which 3 are the highest, basically. So we're kind of putting it in their hands.
Okay. Sounds good. You have any other points that we could bring up in the argument, or no?
Sticking to the no strike policy. Just ensuring that's going to happen.
Can you explain that one more time to bring me back up on par on that?
So the no strike policy is after the new.
Is that after the 1985?
83 is the 1983. Basically, it's saying when the new place is built, for 3 years, there's no labor strikes that are allowed to happen.
Okay.
That's all that is.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. If you anything else that you have that we can bring up in the argument? Okay. So next part that we're going to talk about the 1983 negotiation. So now connect with the other side when both sides are ready. You have 20 minutes to negotiate a wage. When you finish, write down the number you agree upon and make sure that everyone knows what it is. Okay.
Well, I think wages should be $8 an hour if that's the case. Bring it down to minimum, Ryan. What do you think? What do you say to that?
You want to bring it down to minimum?
Oh yeah. Wait, hang on, Ryan. Or Kyle, to be clear, are we negotiating a price?
We are negotiating now, so it's like a role play that we're doing. Connor, you're the company, of course, and Ryan, you're the the employees that, or not the employees, but you know what I mean. You're the people that want to negotiate a higher pay and stuff like that.
To be clear, my job is to get the wage as low as possible, and his job is to get the wage as high as possible.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, I want minimum wage.
So what's your reasoning for wanting minimum wage then? What's the benefits to that?
Well, based off of my views of performance, I'm kind of getting bent over right now because right now you're performing at a minimum wage rate. That's the output you're giving me, so that's what I think I should be paying.
But maybe people are performing at a lower rate because right now 10. Sorry.
What'd you say?
Sorry. Wait. How much? Sorry. Pause this thing. Not pause. How much are the work?
Right now it's 10.63 that you're getting paid.
That's right.
I want to drop it down to $8 or whatever minimum wage is. So let's just say $8 for the sake of argument.
I thought it was $10.
Okay. All right, just make sure. So
you're in, I guess.
Well, man, with even lower pay, isn't that going to be a concern that productivity will drop even less?
Well, no, because I believe that you guys have already set low enough standards, and you already get plenty of days off based off of those accomplishments that you guys set for yourselves. So I believe that if you want to maintaining getting your bonuses and whatnot, I shouldn't have to pay so much in an hourly wage. And if you actually perform well, I'll give you more bonuses.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you? That's it? No, that's not how it goes, right?
So, okay, I'll come in on Ryan's side right here.
That sounds good to me. I don't know.
I understand where you're coming from and all that, but at the same time, where you're already paying us, you've already dropped our pay from 11.75 down to the 10.65. In certain cases, it's gonna dropping it down another $2 about. That really takes a big hit on us. It really makes us feel like a worthless crap. And you as an employee, that doesn't really an employer that gives you kind of a bad name. Treating your employees like crap. In other words, like that. And yeah, people look at the company and like the products you guys produce. They work there, and they'll start thinking you guys are scumbags and all that if you drop us to the minimum wage and kick us to the curb.
Right, and people are gonna. I'll get back on this train. People are, threatening to quit and strike if that happens.
You're gonna have to train your people. You're gonna have to put more money to train more people because you want to save an extra buck.
I'm not trying to save any money. What I'm trying to do is incentivize the workers. So I'll pay you $8 an hour no matter what. But if you perform better, I'll definitely give you a higher bonus. So that way it compensates out to be even more than your $10.69 an hour at the end of the year. All I'm saying is I'm paying a lot of money right now, and I'm not getting the results I like. So I'd like to switch up the structure of how the compensation is. I'll maintain everything else that we've already agreed upon, but I'd rather pay less hourly. And then if we go over in sales to a certain amount, I'll compensate all my employees a certain percentage, and we can talk about that further on. But in all reality, I've done a lot for this community, and to be frank, I think that Dillouette really should be grateful that we're still here. We could, pack up and move our doors to another town if that's the case. But I'm offering a solution: pay everybody less hourly, but if they really want to make more, I'll give them that opportunity. I'll give them profit sharing up to a certain percentage.
Now, is that going to be based off of individual performance or company performance?
On both of it. I'll have it structured so that if the company reaches a certain amount of sales, everyone will get a percentage. But then an individual and on team efforts, if I see a certain if I see a certain raise in productivity, or even just people actually showing initiative that they want to change and get a little bit better at their jobs, sure, I'll compensate them on that as well. It just really comes down to what do the employees truly want. And if they'll show me through measurable acts, I'll give it to them. I'll give them raises and whatnot, but I think our base pay should be $8 an hour, and if they're not ready to be working at the productivity or working to a certain goal, and they just want to kind of like idle through, then I'm only going to compensate them for the work they give me.
So with your bonuses, then, are those a yearly or a monthly bonus, or what kind of bonuses are we talking about then?
We'll do quarterly based off of what we do each quarter, because if sales go up in a certain quarter, I'll compensate a little bit better, and if they go down, I won't compensate as well. And so it gives every 3 or 4 months, I should say, an opportunity to get a bonus.
Yeah, that sounds good and all that, but I've got a family, and you're asking me to live real poor on my family. You're cutting me $2 an hour, and you're expecting me to try to work the same amount of hours and the same amount of labor, perform more for less. And
if you produce,
I think we should do a monthly bonus. I don't know about that, but that sounds more fair to me.
Yeah, I mean, I already live in a trailer, and I got 12 kids.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a heavy bonus quarterly, but I'll split it up monthly. So, for example, if the quarter bonus adds up to be, let's say your normal wage right now is $800 a month, right? At $8 an hour. If at the end of the quarter I see a significant amount, I'll restore back into your monthly paycheck what you would make at $10 an hour, or even $12 an hour, depending on how big the bonus is. You'll get it each week in your paycheck. You just won't see a big fat check at the end of the 3 months. That makes sense?
It makes sense, but so our bonuses are going to be gone then, basically, because now instead of getting a real bonus, you're just paying us the extra hours, the extra money that we lost.
Depending on how well you perform. So you could theoretically make $15 an hour if you performed at that level.
I have a proposition. What if the base pay is $8 an hour, but then on a day, basically, if you meet a benchmarked goal each day, they get an extra $2 an hour to the 10. But if not, then they get the 8. Does that make sense?
I could see that working, yeah.
So it's $8 an hour, but each day, as long as they meet all their goals of productivity, then they get the 10.
Yeah, I could agree to something like that.
Yeah, I'm going on Connor's side here too right now. Also with you employees, you guys will be able to get overtime and in cases like that. Yeah, if you meet your benchmarks, yeah, sure, we'll give you the extra money that you deserve. And then of course you work a little bit longer and you meet those correct criteria. Yeah, you'll have a couple extra bucks coming in from overtime. That's really how much you're willing to work and how much you're willing to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. As the company and the employee, we put a lot of money into it and we expect to get stuff out. So why not expect the same thing from you guys?
I agree, and I believe that by doing this kind of pace will help that, because people will work hard each day to meet their goals by the end of the day, or else they're getting paid less. But this will increase productivity because everybody's going to want the $2 extra. So
yeah,
I would settle on that.
Okay, I'm going to go on Ryan's side here. Yeah, I agree on that too, but at the same time, we got to look at it. Other people around us working the same jobs are making 11 25, I think it was. They're making 11.25, so if we can make it so that we can be making close to 11.25 altogether,
Where'd you see 1125? Sorry.
It is on the Adam and Baxter's company. 90. That's the debrief in notes.
Oh, I didn't read that part yet.
Okay, yeah. So
no, you don't need to read. Yes, that's not supposed to be read till technically after we.
Oh, well, sorry, I read it earlier.
I did too. So
leverage. So I was like, what? Because the prices I see, based off of what you all sent me, was that gave me 5 firms, and the lowest wage being $8 an hour, or sorry, the lowest wage being $6 an hour, and the highest one being $9 an hour. So I feel like $8 is kind of right there in between. And I feel like $10.69 is what I'm paying you now is overkill, and I'm really not really getting all the bang for my buck that I'd like to see. That's why I think switching to this more motivational scheme will be better for everybody. And like let's just say instead of $10 an hour, it'll be $11 an hour that you can make up to. Because it was at $10.69, I'll match that and even add a few nickel or a few pennies on top, so that way it's a round number. So you'll still have the opportunity to provide for your family. You'll still have the opportunity to have, a good life. And here in Dillouette, I feel, that if prices went up, like skyrocketed overnight, we could work on different wages, so that way it, would work out for everybody. Because I really don't want to screw anybody over, but at the same time, right now, I'm way overpaying.
So are you suggesting that we go with inflation, the amount of the pay?
Well, yeah, definitely, because it wouldn't be fair if, each year inflation rose and you didn't get some sort of compensation for that, obviously. So, yeah, we'll look at wages annually and determine, okay, how much was inflation and how much should they be compensated. I don't really want to make anybody's lives terrible here. I want my employees to have great lives because I go to church with you. I see you around in the community. It's a fairly small town, so I'd like to see everybody prosper, but we got to we actually got to work hard.
sounds good to me.
I'm good. So we're in agreement of $8 an hour.
I think we can settle on that.
An additional $3 an hour if you meet quotas.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Make sure that you guys write that all down, what we agree upon, and you understand it, because this is how it works with it. Okay. I think that we're good with that. So we'll move on to the next section. So step 3 is the 1985 negotiation reading. So basically, if you guys haven't read it, it says now to take 45 minutes to read through it, and then give everyone 15 minutes. So 15 minutes to read through it real fast, and we'll come back together.
45 minutes?
15 minutes of reading. So.
Oh. Well, no, I think it says 15 minutes to read and then like 30 minutes to discuss or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
So the
sorry, you
broke
up that part.
Yes.
Am I reading just the one that says Baxter Management Confidential?
No, you're gonna read
that one.
Talk again. Say something again, Connor.
Is this the one we're supposed to read? Can you see my screen?
No, you're gonna be reading the negotiation one. It's the one that's the third one.
I'll get on here.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it is the confidential one. She's got it listed differently in here.
Let's see. Hold on.
I don't know. It pulls up two of them. What the crap?
I know, this is so confusing.
I don't know which one I'm supposed to actually. So it says.
It pulls up
Oh yeah,
two that we
so
just read.
I'm supposed to read my side of it, so the Baxter management side, and then I guess he's supposed to read the local 190.
Yeah, yeah. So switch them, the ones you haven't read, and read them.
Okay.
Okay.
So I read the Baxter one. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, if you read the 190, you'll be reading the Baxter, and then Connor, the one that you read, you'll be reading the opposite one.
Oh, so I'm supposed to read the other one, huh?
Yeah. I'm really confused right now. You guys read already, correct? You read your own? Ryan, you read the 190, correct?
Right.
So there'd be no point for you to read the 190 again. And Connor, you read the Baxter Corp, right?
Well, but I read the 1983 and the 1978 one, but not the 1985 one.
Yeah, so read the 1985 one. I don't know where the.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to switch.
Okay, so just switch them around and read them together. So, and when you guys are ready, I've read both of them already. Let me know. I need to go grab a drink. I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, go for it.
The holidays are about the little moments.
Pop up.
Oh man.
I hope I read the right one.
Who knows?
Am I still putting on like the? Am I still the manager, or am I now on the other side of this?
Direct your team. Okay, so it says when everyone comes back, you have 20 to 30 minutes to negotiate the final contract.
Oh, so I read the wrong one then.
Did not read the.
I read the 190. I didn't read the Baxter management. Let me skim through it real quick.
No, I think that was the one you're supposed to read.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because it was like from the viewpoint of the union, not from the viewpoint of management. And if I'm management, shouldn't I be reading that one?
No, you should have been reading the union one.
You sure? All right.
Yeah, because Ryan read the management one, correct?
I just read the management one, yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to swap right now, Connor, and switch them up. So now you're supposed to come together. Well, the concept of coming together now after you read these two is where you've now, Connor, you've got the viewpoint of the union and you've seen the reasons why they're fighting for the way they are. And then now, Ryan, you're seeing why the management is fighting for the way that they want it. So come back together and we'll talk about what we want to change about the agreement that we agreed on, $8 an hour with the bonus. If you meet the requirements for the day or outperform the day, then you'd get up to $3 a bonus basically per hour. So saying that, go ahead and discuss if you guys want to change anything or manipulate anything or do anything else like that.
Are we just talking just wages, or are we like talking about some of the other stuff too, like the what's that called?
Like the safety stuff, or
like
so we're
52
discussing
week layoff rule.
We are discussing the exact same things we did before. We can talk about the 52-day layoff one. But basically, what it is the exact same thing we discussed before. We're negotiating the wages, and basically that's it. So,
Gotcha.
what it says word for word, it says when everyone comes back, you have 20 to 30 minutes to negotiate the final contract.
So that's everything, I think, Ryan. I think that includes the 52 weeks.
Yep.
Gotcha. So I think that the 52-week notice agreement should be gone.
I agree 100%.
All right.
There's no reason to keep that around. I mean, from like the perspective I read, basically was saying that could that's one of the things they didn't want to get rid of. But I mean, I'm a little biased. I really don't like that 52-week thing.
Yeah. I'm all for getting rid of it too. So.
But if we get rid of that, it's only contingent on worker safety needs to increase. We're having 202 outbreaks for every 100 employees. I can't be having that many injured people, and that's contributed to two things. One, too many new hires, and two, the experienced people don't have a voice. I mean,
too many paid days off too.
Yeah, too many paid day offs. Yep. So I think we should not spend more time on training, but spend more time on listening to our seasoned workers that are there on the lines. Listen to what their suggestions are in our new factory, because productivity is only going to increase if we have the best minds working on fixing that problem.
I agree. Sounds solid.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So I believe that we don't have so many paid days off. We can maintain loyalty here, because I feel like if a employee has a purpose, it doesn't matter what they're getting paid. They're going to want to stay with us. So if we let these veterans teach us more or less what the best method is, then we might be creating some loyalty here. And we won't need that 52-week layoff. So people that don't fit, they just won't. They'll know it and they'll quit, no matter what.
We don't need them around that long. I think with, like you mentioned, Connor, with the training, I completely agree on that. We're having way too many accidents, per 100 people. We need to cut that down significantly. And whether that's training people, handing out brochures, or having safety meetings, or performing safety instructions, putting certain things, or providing equipment to keep people from getting hurt. We don't want to be known as the company that you go there, you can possibly die. So get cut off. And
I don't think we want to work here, so work there.
Yeah.
No, and the wage itself, I could see it being a potential problem. Maybe we could raise the minimum a little bit, but I still think that we should have a difference between. I think that was a really solid plan. If we keep it at, like, let's say $8.50, and then you have the potential of gaining $3 in a day, I feel like that could work really well with our employees. It seems to be right.
With that too, they would be earning an extra, if they were able to perform up to the extra $3 a day, that would put them above, the 11.25. So put them well in the upper class of everyone else. So I like the concept of raising it to at least $8.50. So
I agree.
Anything else that we need to talk about for the final contract? Any other negotiations we would like to?
Do we want to make this like have it. I can't think of the word to use, but where we're not like, are we going to want to review this in a certain amount of time? How this pay rate is going? Like, do we want to look at it in a year and revise, or 6 months and revise, or because I think they talked about how like 3-year freeze on it or something.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree that we do need to revise it. Probably a moderate one at 6 months, but I think we need to at least leave it in there for at least 3 years to find out the full effectiveness of it. The first year, people probably still trying to figure out if it's worth it or not for them.
Right. Yeah, I think it'll take some time to see if it's gonna see the benefits or the disadvantages to it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to have some time to work its magic, but you guys understand this part of it? In my understanding, laid off workers could lose their right of first refusal on any new jobs.
That's funny you just said that. I just read that too, and it confused me. So to answer your question, no, I don't understand that.
Does that mean, like, for example, if you lay off a worker, okay, and a new job pops up in the factory, the laid off worker can choose to take that job? Is that what that's saying?
Can you read that again? I'm really confused now.
Well, I was just reading this, and it was saying that in the contract, laid off workers have the right. It says laid off workers could lose their right of first refusal on any new jobs.
Well, what that means to me is that, in other words, if they're laid off, normally in a company, if there's a position that opens up where someone can move up or someone can apply for it, they're usually the first picks. You know, they get that position's opened up to them like a month in advance before it's open to the public or anything else like that. And when they're laid off, they lose that opportunity to have that. So instead of getting the first pick or the first thing, they have to go and the public will come in.
Something that, as a union, you'd want to fight for that because you'd want to keep that in the contract, I think.
Right. Yeah.
You'd want your employees of taking on the job, even when they got laid off, they could potentially stay on if another job rose up, right?
Well, if they got laid off, you don't really want them working for you, do you?
Laid off just means you let them go because there's no longer a position available for them.
Yeah, they're not getting fired. They're just getting laid off because like budget cuts or whatever.
Okay, well, I agree upon it that way, but if they get fired, I don't think they should have it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, layoff is different. So I would say
that doesn't mean they're a bad worker. It just means there's no longer a position.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that should be kept.
Okay, I mean that's how we're understanding it, right?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, I agree with that.
So, okay. Anything else?
I can't think of anything, really, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like we're supposed to spend a lot more time on this.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think we just get points for being here.
Yeah, we've technically been going for 50 minutes about, so.
I feel like I'm an overachiever for even doing it this week, so.
Yeah. Well, I really
get points
because nothing else to add. I honestly don't know anything else I can add to it that
all right, let's move on.
Okay, that's it. That's it for today. And on your own time, make sure you read the debrief and the end notes. On your own time, it says. Make sure you read that by due date 2. There's a quiz that's on it to complete. I've got another one where it doesn't ask me to ask you guys how I did this week, but
it sucked. What?
I said my
terrible.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's a good thing it doesn't. It knows when I come up, so it doesn't have me ask those questions.
That's weird.
I'll go ahead and ask him since I didn't ask this time. But out of 1 of 10, how do you think it went?
I think it was a good conversation. Yeah, felt like you were a little more on Ryan's side than my side, but
Yeah,
no big deal.
sorry. It's kind of hard when there's supposed to be 2 teams.
For the hand we were dealt, you did good.
Yeah. And then, what are the other questions you guys ask? What, since I'm not going to be doing it again, but how's it do it again?
What could you improve on?
Yeah.
Well, for this week specifically, it would have been nice to know exactly which case to read beforehand. So, like, maybe assign that in the email or something.
Yeah, maybe.
That was. I didn't read it until today, so I didn't even realize that we're supposed to have separate cases. So
we just got lucky, I think, so it worked out. But
yeah,
man,
we did.
Both read the same side of it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not your
what?
That's not your fault. This is
Yeah.
a weird case.
I should have done a little bit more preparation with it. I'm gonna stop this broadcast. Okay. Anything else?